Shalom Akati Mavis. It's very Tabah to have you here. I see you. It looks like we're making an executive decision. TikTok land is acting goofy. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. One platform, don't stop the show. Stop by the shop. Need to pick up something real quick. We're gonna get this party started. I see two in YouTube's land now. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who is catching this message. What's what? Hi. Thank you. I'll be back in a little while. Got to do a lot. You said something about making an executive decision. Yes. Brain food. Executive decision. We're gonna have a walking, talking, listening party. TikTok no like I was playing with them yesterday. So they didn't want me to play on Restream. So I go straight to the source. TikTok act like I don't have an internet. Everything else works though. So we're gonna have a listening party. And the floor is open for discussion. However, this is not an open topic type discussion. We've been studying the Jews in the Quran. And I actually do have a topic for discussion. I'm walking right now without my Quran. I keep the verses in my head. Couldn't tell you that I could recite the whole Quran. I'm not on that level. I'm familiar with its subject matter. I'm familiar with the do's. I'm familiar with the don'ts. I'm familiar with the Jews and the surah and the quotes. Usubillahi mina shaitan regime. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan and the evil ways while we travel the divine path. We recite surah, psalms, and prayers in order to become nearer with our Father, Yahweh Elohim, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. In the name of our Father, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Lord over all worlds, creator of our deen. All praises to our Rabbi, the most compassionate, most merciful. We ask you to forgive us when we disobey like others have done before us. We ask you to show us, teach us how to forgive others the way that you forgive us. We thank you for giving us a divine path. Amen. It is said that when we pass away, we will go before our Father in judgment, and we will be asked if we have heard Surah Al-Fatiha. If you've been listening for the last 2 or 3 minutes, yes, you've heard it in Farsi, yes, you've heard it in English. You can go to Quran.com, 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 subhanallah, Quran.com, Quran.com. When I make a mistake, you hear me say, subhanallah, praise Allah. You'll hear people say, alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Who is Allah? Allah is Elohim. Well, who is Elohim? Lord over all worlds. Who is Yahweh? It's our Father, our Creator. Put it all together, it's our Father, the Lord of all worlds. Nomad Studio. I come from a family of nomads. Not talking about my mama and my daddy and my grandma and my granddaddy. It's not what I'm talking about. My mama and my daddy and my grandma and my granddaddy were all forced to live under occupation, to live under oppression. Not that they were occupied with their own operations. Excuse me. There's a big difference between being under occupation and under oppression compared to being occupied by your true occupation with absolutely no pressure. This coffee is straight black. Straight black because when I ordered it through the app, it didn't register the size that I wanted. 4 mocha, 3 sugar. That was the reason why when I went in to pick it up, they looked at me kind of funny, like, you don't usually get it straight black. Because I wouldn't. I'm not going to go to Dunkin's and spend that kind of money just on a straight black coffee. Well, I can't say I'm not going to, because I just did, didn't I? I come from a family of nomads. Come from a family that didn't know anything about a zip code or an area code. The code was, if you take something from nature, you use all of it to the best of your ability. Code was, if you go somewhere, leave no trace. And if you do, the trace that you leave is that you left improvement. I come from a family of nomads, and we all pretty much went out and found a purpose. The ones that didn't, the family looks at them like, it would be great if you went and found a purpose. Sometimes we don't agree with that person's choice. A lot of the times, my family hasn't agreed with my choice. Now I'm talking about my immediate family now. Because there's been a question that I've been asked. How much did our ancestors know beforehand about what was going to happen with us during their lifetime? I was watching a study and Q&A session earlier today. A question came up. It always comes up. Somebody's always wanting to ask how Abraham was judged, if he's been judged already or not. How will we be judged? When will we be judged? Sounds like I'm hitting 3 different points in 3 different directions. Put on your seatbelt. When you open your eyes, it doesn't matter if it's the crack of dawn or if the sun hadn't come up yet or if it's midday. You think it, then you say it. I come from our Father. I shall return to our Father. May our Father be pleased when I return. That's your first prayer for the day. You thought it, you said it, now go about doing it. Your mission is to show that you come from our Father. Your mission is to show that you have every expectation to return to our Father. And you will be about your work so that our Father will be pleased when you return. Amen. That's your first prayer. And you haven't even gotten up to do a formal prayer yet. Because now you have to wash yourself and prepare your mind to really become humble and also present yourself to our Almighty Creator. Because all you've done so far is just open your eyes up to see this creation that He already put in place. So next, what you would do after you've washed yourself and you've gotten your mind cleared enough is when you would say, it's time for prayer. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala falah. Qad qamatis salah. Qad qamatis salah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. That's the call to prayer. Fatima. And then you would recite Surah Al-Fatiha after you have said, I present the number of prostrations that you plan to do, and the first one that you would do during the first hours of the day, during the day break, you would do 2 prostrations. Come before Allah to do 2 prostrations, seeking to be near with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. Then you would actually go through reciting Surah Al-Fatiha. You could recite another surah afterwards. And then after that, you're doing some dua where you are saying, I love the Lord, He heard my cry. I love Adon, He heard my cry. Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbona wa lakal hamd. Subhana Rabbi Allah, esteemed. All praises to the Rabbi most esteemed. Subhana Rabbi Allah, esteemed. And then you would say all praises to the mighty Rabbi. Subhana Rabbi Allah. Then you would say another dua. Our Father, please grant me the strength. Guide me along the divine path. Grant me mercy and forgiveness while I strive to gain stature, doing this work along the path. Thank you for giving me the deen, and please forgive me while I make mistakes while walking along the deen. Rabishfili, wa rahmani, wa jbarni, wa arfani, wa arzukni, wa dini, wa ofini. Allahu Akbar. Touch your head on the ground. You've done this a few times while you're going through all of this. You've been bowing and all sorts of things. Touch your head on the ground. And raise up, Subhana Rabbi Allah. When you stand, you're going to say Surah Al-Fatiha again. And then you're going to say a different surah than the one that you said before, so that there's no just repetition going on. This is not just machine work. This is you fine-tuning yourself, getting ready to go out and be of service in the community of Yahweh Elohim. Whereupon you would once again say, I love the Lord, He heard my cry. I love Adon, He heard my cry. Directly after saying that second surah. And then you would bow. All praises to the mighty Rabbi. And you would say that dua again about the fact that you still need strength. You still need guidance. You still need that light that's telling you your next level of stature, because that's telling you what your task is. In order for you to attain stature is the same thing as when you go to your job looking for a raise. You attain stature by actually doing work. When you do your work, then you actually get a blessing. You get your blessing, you go and you spread that out amongst other people in the kingdom. Everybody starts to grow. You have gained stature because now you are above where you were, and you've also helped the people grow as well. That will not happen just sitting there quoting text from a book, especially if you're not applying it. Well, how is it that Abraham is judged? How's he judged? I keep hearing that we don't have a heaven or a hell to put anybody in. No, we don't. We don't have anything. To everything belongs Allah. We don't need to be claiming what we got. Everything that you have belongs to Allah. So no matter what you got, you should be willing to give it up, including your life. So is there a heaven and a hell? Yes, there is. When do we go to heaven? When do we go to hell? When you pass away, you're not going to experience a time where you think that you are asleep. It is said by mankind that we go to sleep when we pass away and we are resting. Life is eternal. And that does not mean, oh, now we get to go to sleep and rest. No, there's always work. There's more beyond life than what happens on this mud ball called Earth. Don't be so self-important. You're a minuscule, like a pin dot on an atom. You are acting like angels on a pin. How big is an angel? Why would they be standing on a pin? You'd think they have something better to do with their time. Why do I mention that phrase? Go look it up. Angels on a pin. P-I-N, stick pin, like a needle. Same needle that we talk about when we say a camel passing through the needle's eye. Yeah, you got the gate and everything, but still imagine a camel passing through a sewing needle's eye. Because yes, there's times where when the words are put there, it's for you to look at it both ways. How impossible is it for a camel to pass through a needle's eye? Because there were people involved with stitching in Yahasharayal, as well as riding camels. And some of them did not go through that little small access gate. They sold their wares that they had stitched together. What's all that got to do with judgment? We're judged with our generation. That doesn't mean, oh, well, the baby boomers don't get judged with Gen X. No. There's way too many people out there already fighting over how long humankind has been on this mud ball. Takes me back to something else, too. One say, it's impossible to call yourself clean if you wipe yourself down with mud. In the name of our Father, may I receive nourishment. So you're telling me we're standing on a big old planet of uncleanliness because we're on a mud ball. We walking around on uncleanliness. You grow your food in uncleanliness. I'm more than a wordsmith. I'm not here to poke jabs. I'm here to say, think before you speak. Think about what you are saying, especially when you're about to deliver a message to the people concerning the affairs of Yahweh Elohim. People have made the mistake of giving the wrong information for so long that right now everybody is confused. So confused that most ideas are very muddy and not in a clean way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not work on a timeline. Mankind works on a timeline. That's why they're arguing about how old the earth is, how old creation is. Who and how did creation start? Those are concepts of man. For everything that will stall you out from you setting your mind to serving Allah immediately, making sure that you are in righteous judgment, and making sure that your legacy learns to do the same thing. Anytime anything stalls you out from that, that is oppression. That is when you are under occupation. Because somebody else is assigning you tasks for you to spend your time. The only thing that's stationary in creation are stubborn people and the monuments that they put up. Selah. Well, you still haven't explained how is it that Abraham and everybody has already been judged? My people are nomads. Now, does that mean just travel around to random destination? No. I usually don't eat leavened bread. I like tortillas. But I like these too. Croissants. Would I go all the way to France to get a croissant? No. Would I go to France for anything? No. There's some people over in mid-Africa right now who are going through all kinds of turmoil. going through all kinds of torment, going through all kinds of torture, because France won't release them from colonialization. I don't want to speak French terms. I don't want to look at a French person. I'd rather have brown Dijon mustard than French's yellow mustard. Because at least there's a chance that that Dijon mustard ain't had to come from France. Just because. It could have come from Portugal, it can come from Spain, it can come from anywhere. Except for France. You see, I'm looking at some people over in the middle of Africa, a place where some people would call El Kebulan instead of Africa, because that's a colonized name as well. And I'm looking at the fact that we got about 7 to 11 nations that could actually band together. Still be separate nations. They could work together. But you got outside forces that are trying to tell them what to do with their resources. Then you got bandits who are testing out weaponry. No, voulez-vous. No. Not be speaking that. Ain't the only place you can get a croissant. Might decide I want a Danish. Well, you can't do that. People in Denmark and the Dutch, they were running around with slaves too. Yeah, you sure right. Go over to Guadalupe, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico. Give me some fine. Tell them my name is Pine, then they're gonna laugh. You want the delicacy bread, then your name is Bread. You can call me Petro. Oh, hold. You tell me. You the cornerstone and the bread. Okay. Yeah. Se llámame Tomás. You the bread. You the stone. You even the doubter. My people are nomads. My first official trainer was a man named Mr. Jake. Mr. Jake had a house full of disciples as children. Selah. Aside from my mom's name, my aunt has my favorite name of all women. Aktrak Rasi, Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm glad you're here. You see, I come from a family of nomads. I don't know if you caught it. I was explaining right before you came in. I was eating a croissant. Said, no, I wouldn't go to France in order to get a croissant. I find another means. No, parlez-vous, oui, no. I'm not speaking the language. You see, because they have occupied a territory where there are 7 to 11 African countries, also known as Al-Kebulan, because Africa is a colonized colonial name. If you look at the map where it's called Al-Kebulan, you're going to start seeing some Farsi names on it. The reason why you see those Farsi names on those territories is because Ishmael ibn Ibrahim had his kingdom in Al-Kebulan. Selah. You see, my family, nomads. So no, I'm not going to go to France. I'm not going to speak the language. Not going to buy a croissant from them. I said I'd go anywhere. I would go to Portugal. I'd go to Spain. I'd even go to Danish land. I'd go to Denmark to get a Danish instead of going to France, because they have colonized countries and they're trying to tell them how to run their resources instead of leaving them alone. And then on top of that, you got these people out there who are testing weaponry. See, when I'm looking at the world, I don't care about the world leaders. I'm looking at the people who are being destroyed, innocent lives, not the people who are jockeying and politicking to make sure that their face is on the screen. I do give respect to the leaders that are there doing what they do. No doubt about it. Telling you why I've chosen certain language that I am willing to speak, and there's others I won't. So, yes, and I even know the language. I'm just not going to speak it. Why? Because my people perish for lack of knowledge. I'm not going to teach you something you can't use. I want to show you how to apply the knowledge that you are actually supposed to be intimate with. That language from those people has nothing to do with the standards of Yahweh Elohim, has nothing to do with being of service within the kingdom, has nothing to do with walking with the wisdom of Ravak HaKadosh, and it definitely has nothing to do with the living example of Yahashua HaMashiach. Now, where are we going with this discussion today? Where the bad folks go when they die? Where does anybody go when they die? I'm here to let you know, trucker. I'm not shooting pot shots at anybody. I use my live broadcast to pick up on whatever was going on prior to me broadcasting, as well as also speaking on the thought that came to my head when I came back to consciousness in this shared reality. Now, when I awoke, you know, because we spoke for a couple seconds, and I went back to the live, so did you. You notice I did speak sparingly, and then I jumped out. I had some things to do because a thought came to my head. Give me a con and a 10-4 if you do remember a group called Bad Brains. I'll give you a moment. Bad Brains. Let me know. Kind. The youth are getting restless. The youth are getting restless. The youth are getting restless. You see, some people, when I walk up on them, they'll think, hey, it's HR from Bad Brains. What you doing here? You supposed to be in D.C. or on tour or something. I've had people ask me why sometimes I slide over into speaking like patois, or I'm not speaking like it, it's part of me. Some people might wonder why, even when I go back to English accent, if I happen to be speaking some Spanish, there's going to be strong accent on all the A's and the O's and the U's and the E's, because I'm saying A, E, O, U. And I'm going to keep saying it, even though I'm speaking Angle-ish. Why? Because my family was nomads. We were all over the place. So no, I'm not going to get that croissant in France. Probably not even going to go and buy it in Denmark, because people are going to try and remind me about the Dutch. Fine. I'm going to Guatemala. I'm going to Guadalajara. I'm going to Nicaragua. I'm going to Puerto Rico. And I'm going to ask for some fan. And they ask me why, I'm going to say, because my name is Pan. Then they're going to be like, oh, you want some delicacy bread, but your name is Bread. Yeah. Matter of fact, some call me Petro. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You want some fancy bread, you are the bread, and you are the storm. Si way. Un momento. Un moment. Y se llámame Tomás. You're the doubting one too? See where? Sound like you've been around Tickling a couple of times. I would say that I have. Yeah. Something like David. Let's face it. Tell me your dreams. Let's start making those dreams a reality. See, that's my faculty. If you ask me, has Ibrahim passed away and been judged and placed in heaven or hell? I'm going to tell you, yes, he has passed away. Yes, he's been judged. And I don't know how many stories I've heard about somebody trying to talk about Ibrahim is sitting right there in the throne room with Yahweh Elohim. That means people have been put in heaven. People have been put in hell. You think Yahweh Elohim waited for the first sin? Oh wait, I need to get a building to put all them people in. Oh, I wish I had an imaginary box to group some people in, because I'd take them out, say no, 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 and put them back again, Oh, I wish I had an undiscriminate colored box to put the people I ignore in. 'Cause I'd take them out and say no, 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 and put them back again. Selah. Had to make an executive decision today because instead of being able to do the simultaneous cast, the other platform decided it was mad at me. I couldn't do it on Restream. So then I went directly there. That doesn't hurt my feelings. It's proving what we're supposed to be doing. You see, nomads don't move randomly. We move where there is product, productivity, and needs of service. That's what a nomad does. You don't sit up and eat up everything and then look around and go and find and take something from someone else. We speak a language in a land that we nor our fathers have known. Here's the thing. We've all heard it a million times. Farsi, Swahili, and Latin go hand in hand. Swahili, Farsi, and Latin are also mixed with other. We've been forced under occupation and possession to learn tendencies that are not ours. And that's why I refuse to speak certain tongues. Won't tell you I know them fluently. However, if someone is speaking around me, I pretty much know what they're talking about. They ain't gotta know that. And I really don't care what they're talking about. If they choose to speak in that tongue, then that's something they want, that conversation between them two, or three, or whoever. If I speak in a certain tongue, that means that anybody who is available that can hear it, it's meant for them to hear it as well. Otherwise, I'm going to take you off to privacy somewhere. Yahweh Elohim does not work on lineal time. That is man's concept. Time itself as a construct is not even linear. We live on a mud ball that spins around on an axis that actually spins around in orbit around a sun, a star that actually also spins on an axis and goes on orbit inside of a galaxy which is also spinning around yet a larger body, which is also spinning around a larger body. So when you say Yahweh Elohim is in everything, Yahweh Elohim is in all of those gas clouds that they think they're finding, and all of that dark energy that they can't describe, and all these other elements that they can't figure out, because that's man trying to give a name to what has already been created. We already have a representation of the one who gave the names, because he was asked to give the names to the animals. Adam named the animals. And the angels came and said, well, how come we couldn't do it? And Yahweh said, you dare ask me about something that I know, which you don't? I'm gonna need you to go sit over in the corner and watch my student. I made this, you didn't. Go sit down. Adam, name the animals. You see, Adam had the gift of memory. Adam had the gift of choice. Adam had the gift of discernment, had already been walking with Ravak HaKadesh, already had a mainline communication with Yahweh Elohim. So he would have already been taught Barashait. He knew where we were going. Adam named the animals. Now he didn't go over there and say, well, that's Bob, that's Terry, that's Shamika. No. There's one over there that's got, now all of them got paws and claws. But the carnivores, they got paws and claws. But there's some differences. They even live in different places. The prey that they eat, some of it is similar, however, there's differences. In order for Adam to name the animals, he had to identify both flora and fauna. Because we got some animals out here that look like plants, people. He had to know the difference, which means he had to name the plants too. And if he had to name the animals and the plants, he had to name where they were coming from and what was going on with them. God, we must all get ready. And I see you. You go pull that load, brother. My Father be with you. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. There's a hawk always over your shoulder. I thank you for looking out for me too, brother. Be safe. Yahweh does not work on a lineal scale. Linear. It's not in a line. Humans do that to try to make things make sense. Because if they don't try to put it in their own array, they may not be able to understand. Adam didn't line up the animals and say, well, from biggest to smallest, I'll name them by size. No. He took in all the elements of creation itself, defined and qualified each animal, and we can see it to this day because it does survive in Farsi, Swahili, Abra, known as Paleo-Hebrew, also known as Proto-Canaan. Because before someone named Avra came along, they were in Canaan, land of the Canaan. Khan, Selah. We are judged with our generation. Let's say 100 years. Can you go back to say that you've actually sat in your great-great-grandmother's lap? Can you say that your great-great-grandfather could identify you? Hey, that's little so-and-so. No. Now, their progeny, their children, are the ones who have influenced your life. There comes up to a point where everything that those people, those individuals were doing with their life, it affected whoever that they were dealing with throughout the day, throughout the years of their life, up to a certain point. If you never hear from me again, and you go before our Father today, that's all our Father can ask you. Not how it made you feel later on, knowing me. Up to this point in time, right here, if I was taken off of this planet Earth, if all of everybody was taken off this planet Earth right now, except for the people who happen, the women who happen to be pregnant right now, and the fathers who helped conceive those children, if everybody else was taken off this earth right now, because of the fact that we are living in this moment, we're all going to be standing in judgment. Now, I'm not telling you, oh, it's the end of time, we all about to get snatched up. No. 100-year span. How much else can you even show and prove that you've been an effect on anybody else's life outside of 100-year span? We will not be judged by Ibrahim's movements. We will not be judged by Yahushua's movements. We will not be judged by Muhammad. We're not going to be judged by Abraham Lincoln. He didn't even know us. It would have been great if I shook his hand. However, I don't know Malcolm Little. I don't know Malik El-Haj Shabazz. Yes, there's a heaven, and yes, there's a hell, and they're both already occupied. And the quickest way to get into hell is to turn your back on the true standards of Yahweh. The quickest way to get into hell is to run around talking about you know the standards, however you don't practice them, and then you show other people that malpractice, that haram activity. That's the quickest way to get there. I will not be judged at the same time as Malcolm X or MLK or Gandhi. They didn't know me, I don't know them. It doesn't matter if I read their speeches. I was not able to walk up and shake their hand. There are people who were directly in their life. I think we might still have James Baldwin still alive. Maybe. But most of the people that were around Malcolm X, they're gone. Red Fox. One day you're going to be laid up in the hospital. Call yourself healthy, dying from nothing. You big dummy. We've been off for about 20 minutes. Made an executive decision because they were calling for a slight precipitation later on, and I didn't want to walk all the way to the park. I was thinking about walking towards the grocery store. However, that would leave me out exposed. I'm not trying to do that. This is pneumonia weather. No, thank you. I know of a few places around where I am where I can get what I need and get back undercover and take care of a couple of plans and preparations I got going on. We've only paused for a minute in studying Jews and the Quran. We've paused because I'm making sure that when we are actually in the study, there is no interruptions. Find me on Discord. Set up your own profile on Discord. And then look for the handle 3PROJH. 3P Roche. 3PROJH. Sounds foreign? I bet it does. 3P. Plan, produce, peace. Rosh, wind, spirit, soul. I thought that was Ruach. I thought that was Ravak. Well, I'm tired of y'all arguing. So my name is actually an algebraic equation. It's a physics equation. It's a mental puzzle. Because I'm tired of y'all arguing. You spend more time throughout the day arguing than you do any kind of actual product service. You spend more time arguing about why can't we do it this way over here? Oh, we can't do it that way. Well, what if I'm wearing green pants when I do it? I use I use that because I'm looking at the reflection in my glass. There ain't nothing around me right now that's actually green. Can I do it wearing green pants? Oh, that's not permissible either. How about if I hold my left leg up wearing striped pants on every other given day? No. Why are you adding on to some stuff when I already told you if you go and do the simple thing, then we straight? I want to make sure that my threads are right. Let's do a mental note here. I was told you go out in twos with the clothes on your back. You're not too worried about carrying a coin purse. You're not too worried about if you're dragging along some food. You don't even take your actual Bible with you because you got it right here. And you speak on what you know from right here. And what you know is what you're intimate with because it's what you do. That means if you spend all day long going through 8 or 9 different books of the Bible and you want to talk about, best recipe for making cookies follows along the Beatitudes. Now a person's going to go, how are you going to apply that to the Beatitudes? Number one, you got to start from scratch. You got to be born again. There ain't no half-stepping. However, if you've already been told there's 10 rules, so what we're going to do is remove the 11. Now we got 9 rules. Not that there was any 11 in the original 10. And then what we're going to do is, this is calling for powdered sugar on the top, but you got brown sugar in it. We're going to take off the powdered sugar. So now we got 8 instead of 10. We're still going to bake it and bring it out to what it needs to be. As a matter of fact, somewhere along there's going to be a step or two that gets blended together because it happens at the same time. So no, we didn't take nothing out. We put it to use in its proper place, in context. I'm not going to come to you with a hammer and a nail trying to tell you about lemon wedges. Selah. Keep this in mind. Yes, I actually did train in information technology. I actually did train so that I am prepared for all that they're throwing out here. All it is finding the correct software to use for your own benefit instead of what they throw at you as a convenience. I've been trained to go and find what is best to use, and if you hadn't noticed, I don't lag very often. I'm not bragging. I've been guided, and I follow my leader. My leader commissioned me upon the moment that I was conceived, because my soul was floating around, waiting to be put to use. Did I know as an infant that I was going to grow up to be like this? Didn't have the foggiest idea. But by the time I was about 5 or 6, when people would ask me, what you going to be when you grow up? I couldn't describe it. However, I'm as happy as I want to be right now, because that little 5-year-old is very proud. That 12-year-old, when he was a troubled adolescent and ain't even made it to the teens yet, he's proud. That 16-year-old who was trying to learn about puppy love, not knowing that that was the goofiest thing you could ever think of, he's proud right now. The 22-year-old, when I set up my first household, had my seed come in this world, he's very happy, because that's when I started learning in an actual college class about information technology. I'd already been studying on my own. That word is called autodidact. Most of the things I know is because I'm an autodidact. When I went to class, it was just so that the professor could look at me and think, how do you know this? Just for me to respond when they actually verbalized it. I already read that 4 years ago. And I didn't have to pay nobody to tell me to read it. It's at the library. So many people want to try and tell you how you're supposed to be walking the path, and they don't even have a clue where the path actually is. And when you come and give correct guidance and a person rejects it, don't get in your feelings. You see, we have a duty. Our duty is not to make sure that every knee bows and every tongue confesses. No, that is not our duty. Our duty is to make it known that the kingdom of Yahweh exists. And the only way that that can happen is if people are actually actively conducting their lives as if they are in the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. When your presence is known, how do people feel about it? When you walk into the room, how do people react? Say it loud. Meet me on Discord. You want to talk about how to properly get copyright protected? Meet me on Discord. You want to talk about how to actually establish your own sole proprietorship? Meet me on Discord. You want to talk about organic marketing strategies so that you're not paying everybody to use their conveniences? Because if you're serious about business, the last thing you're trying to do is keep on paying other people. It's called overhead. If you got a brick and mortar building that you're renting out a space in, that's a lease payment every month. That's an electric bill every month. That's a water bill every month, because you got to have a toilet wherever you're going to spend some time. Or you could work from home and set up a virtual reality, realism, real estate, home office with your ism schism. And you say the system. How about you actually work with the original system? You know, the one that makes the earth spin on its axis in rotation around our local star, which rotates around a whole network of other stars. Don't be so self-centered that you think everything revolves around you. It's a quick way to go to hell. You see somebody in need, go help them. Don't ask them if they need help. If you have empathy in your body, it means that you can sense they need help. If you have compassion, it means that you're going to go over there and help them. If you are humble, you are focused on that because that is your occupation, to be of service and give products to people who are in need in the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. If you are focused like that and you are humble like that, there's a word, it's called anava. Now here's one for you. There was one named Jonah. He had to go and talk to some people in Nineveh. Nineveh. If you can find one, then that city will be saved. Nineveh. Aaron, Harun, Iran. When it was time for the children of Yahasharayah to cross over into the promised land, Moses, had already been told, no, you don't get to go. You and your assistant Harun, Aaron, you two don't get to go. You disobeyed. It's not the fact that you disobeyed. The fact is, after I gave you a direct command, you wanted to take credit for how you did it. That's called blasphemy. You cannot say you blessed anybody, because then you're taking the office of Yahweh Elohim. You cannot say that you provided for anybody, because then you're taking the office of Yahweh Elohim. When you're lecturing your children, don't you know what I did to provide for you? Let's see here. You went and clocked in somewhere, stressed out, came back to the house, told me exactly how stressed out you were, and the fact that we're still going to have a little trouble getting on through the next 2 weeks. On the 8th day, it does not say, and go collect your salary. On the 8th day, it does not say, go and pay utility bills. On the 8th day, it does not say, render unto Caesar and forget who gives you sustenance. Because y'all don't even understand what that actual original verse is telling you. It's telling you that if you have any kind of givings toward using anything from Caesar, you've already left the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. Family, I'm here trying to show you a way to get out of it. Come, Yahasharayah. Rise out of it. You want to talk about grafting? It's the season for pruning. You need to be cutting off stuff. So that if there's anything extra by the time spring come around, no, you're not grafting. You're still making sure that you're cutting. You don't graft unless there's been a major storm that came through and broke down a few trees around you, and you can put those tree limbs back onto a tree. Elijah Finger, I see you. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom HaBarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I do remember a name, Elijah Finger. However, we don't interact quite often enough. I'll tell you something. To stick in my memory, you have to be around me. We have to have conversation. I'm not saying you got to be standing right here next to me. However, we have to do more than, hey, how you doing, in the comment section. There's some people right now who swear they know me until they actually pay attention to what I'm saying. then they'll understand, no, they're not intimate with my actions. So yes, I slightly do remember you, but we'll have to hang out more often, right? And then, yeah. And once again, thank you, though. Thank you for coming back around again. I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. So as I was saying, I was basically closing out. We do go, the normal time is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. What was it? 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've changed that because the sun sets earlier. And we have been in the studies of the Jews, the 30 equal sections of the Quran. We have stopped right now. We're still in Jews 5. And we're going into the 5th surah. We just completed Surah An-Nisa. Before that, we were doing Surah Al-Imran, and then there was Al-Baqarah, and before that is Surah Al-Fatiha. We've been going in order. We're not on the daily schedule like we should be, because I'm stopping in between to talk about certain things. If I sat down by myself, yes, I could read a juz in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. However, since we're stopping and starting and talking and reviewing and making sure people understand what's going on, it's going to take a little longer than that. I'm really looking at it might take a span of anywhere from 60 yom to more, 60 days, what people would call 2 months. We have basically 2.5 months before our year starts again. That will mark the first day that we started doing these lives. I want to thank you for coming, Elisha. I want to thank everyone who tunes in, whether you're watching now or if you watch later. I want to thank you. Please reach out to me. I leave my information, so if you read the details with my post, with the content, it shows you in the details. Read the details. That's the reason why people perish, for lack of knowledge. The knowledge is presented in front of you. It is on you to read it and take it in. I can't come to your house and knock on your door. I don't know where you live. I gave you a post. After that, you can say yes, you can say no. For those who I consider my loved ones, I do stick around long enough to find out, are you going to say yes or are you going to say no? I'm not going to argue with you. I care. Are you going to say yes or are you going to say no? All right, because I got some more traveling I need to do. There's some more people I need to visit with because we casted nets. Find somebody out there and give them a reason to smile. Go and do an act of kindness that causes someone else to smile and brighten their day. Hashtag kindness is contagious. Amitaba, amitofu. That's how you would say compassion in either Chinese or Japanese. Till next time, Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Many much love and respect. Shalom Makati.